面对非方船只的强行冲闯中国海警，不得不采取必要的执法措施。
Since the threat has grown, we must do more to defend our territory.
Philippine National Security Advisor Eduardo Año has called for the expulsion of Chinese diplomats following an alleged leaked phone call involving a Chinese official and a Philippine admiral. The reported conversation suggests that the Philippine official agreed to Chinese demands related to the South China Sea dispute, including limiting the number of vessels used for resupply missions and providing prior notice to Beijing about activities in the area. Tensions between the Philippines and China have escalated in recent months, with both nations accusing each other of maritime sovereignty violations. Beijing has referenced a supposed secret agreement with former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, claiming that Manila agreed not to undertake repairs or construction at Second Thomas Shoal, a submerged reef under Philippine control since 1999.
菲律宾方面对此一再矢口否认。我们不知道菲方到底担心什么，又试图掩盖什么。遵守中菲达成的共识，就能有效维护仁爱礁局势稳定，符合中菲双方的共同利益。违背承诺，一再挑衅，只会升高局势，终将殃及菲方自身。希望菲方正视现实，理智决策。
However, Manila denies the existence of any such agreement. The leaked conversation reportedly occurred amid ongoing disputes over maritime territories. China's claims of sovereignty have clashed with Manila's efforts to defend its maritime interests. The Philippines has rejected China's claims and actions in the South China Sea, particularly concerning vessel deployments and strategic activities in the disputed waters. The call for expelling Chinese diplomats signifies the seriousness of the leaked conversation and its implications for bilateral relations. The Philippines views this alleged concession to Chinese demands as compromising its sovereignty and national interests.
Dapat alamin kung sino ang responsable dito at alisin sa Republika ng Pilipinas.
The dispute reflects broader geopolitical tensions in the region, where both countries seek to assert influence and control over key maritime territories. Despite Beijing's claims of a previous agreement with the Philippines, Manila remains steadfast in denying any binding commitments that would compromise its rights in the South China Sea.
It turns out we don't know. It is a secret agreement. We don't know anything about it. There is no documentation. There is no record. There is no... We were not briefed when I came into office. Wala nagsabi sa amin na meron ganung usapan.
The leaked conversation has further strained relations between the Philippines and China, highlighting the complexities and sensitivities surrounding territorial disputes in this crucial maritime region. Tensions between the Philippines and China over the South China Sea have reached a new level, prompting the Philippines' National Security Advisor to call for the expulsion of Chinese diplomats. This call comes in response to an alleged leak of a phone conversation between a Filipino admiral and a Chinese diplomat, suggesting concessions made by the Philippines. China's embassy in Manila has been accused of spreading misinformation to create discord. In Beijing, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson condemned the Philippines' remarks as provocative and urged Manila to allow Chinese diplomats to carry out their duties without interference. The Philippines accuses China of violating its laws by recording the call. Meanwhile, China maintains that its embassy merely disclosed relevant communications regarding the situation at Second Thomas Shoal. Manila seeks diplomatic actions against Chinese embassy officials, accusing them of meddling and misrepresenting negotiations. A senior Philippine security official has called for the immediate expulsion of Chinese diplomats amid heightened tensions over a reported leaked phone conversation involving a Filipino admiral and a Chinese diplomat discussing South China Sea disputes. National Security Advisor Eduardo Año supported the defense chief's request for the Philippine Foreign Office to take action against individuals from the Chinese embassy in Manila accused of recording the conversation, allegedly violating Philippine laws and international diplomatic protocols.
Kung itong statement ay totoong galing sa Chinese embassy na sila ay nag-recording ng sino man sa Pilipinas, sila ay umaamin na lumabag sila sa batas ng Republika ng Pilipinas, particularly the anti-wiretapping law. At sila ay naggumawa Kung totoo man ito ng bagay na labag sa international relations at labag sa batas.
According to reports from Manila newspapers citing a Chinese embassy source, the recorded call in January indicated an agreement by a Filipino admiral to a new protocol for supplying a Philippine-occupied shoal in disputed waters. This arrangement required Manila to notify Beijing for offshore missions and refrain from bringing construction materials. Año strongly condemned the actions of the Chinese embassy, accusing them of disseminating disinformation and releasing purported transcripts of conversations between officials of the host country. Año emphasized the need for serious consequences for these actions, stating that those responsible for violating Philippine laws and diplomatic norms must be immediately expelled from the country. In response to these developments, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian criticized the Philippines for lacking confidence in the face of evidence and facts, urging Manila to ensure that Chinese diplomats can carry out their duties without provocation or denial of the truth.
菲方的有关表态，恰恰证明了他们在事实和证据面前心虚了，已经到了气急败坏、毫无底线的地步。中方郑重要求菲方切实保障中方外交人员正常履职，停止侵权挑衅，不要抵赖事实，不要轻举妄动，不要搬起石头砸自己的脚。
The escalating tensions stem from incidents between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard ships near the Second Thomas Shoal and Scarborough Shoal over the past year, involving water cannons, lasers, and dangerous maneuvers that have led to minor collisions and injuries to Filipino Navy personnel. The Philippine government has lodged multiple protests with Chinese embassy diplomats in Manila over these incidents. Amidst these tensions, the United States has reiterated its commitment to defending the Philippines, its longtime treaty ally, in the event of armed attacks involving Filipino forces in the South China Sea. The disputes in the South China Sea involve several countries, including Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan, with overlapping territorial claims in this strategic trade route, raising concerns about potential conflict escalation involving U.S. forces and China's military. The leaked phone conversation reportedly took place in January and purportedly shows a Filipino admiral agreeing to concessions with China to de-escalate tensions at Second Thomas Shoal. According to local media reports, this agreement involved limiting the number of Philippine vessels used for resupply missions and providing prior notice to China. In response to Año's statements, China's foreign ministry called for Philippine assurance that Chinese diplomats can perform their duties without hindrance. The dispute also involves allegations regarding a secret agreement between China and the Philippines during the administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte, supposedly preventing Manila from repairing or constructing structures at Second Thomas Shoal and the Spratly Islands.
I am pleased with the current positive momentum of the Philippines-China relations. There is a deepening trust and confidence. Our governments and have greatly increased dialogue and interaction on many levels.
万物并育而不相害，道并行而不相悖。
All roads may run parallel without interfering with one another. Both sides agree that there is no one-size-fits-all development model and that every country has the right to choose its own path.
However, Defense Minister Gilbert Teodoro clarified that his department was unaware of any such agreement since President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assumed office in 2022, signaling a lack of continuity in diplomatic understandings between the two nations. Tensions between China and the Philippines have escalated over the past year, marked by several incidents in the South China Sea. Despite an agreement in January to enhance communication for tension management in the disputed waters, relations have shown no signs of improvement. The Philippine Coast Guard has recorded multiple confrontations with China, including water cannon incidents and vessel collisions. Moreover, diplomatic exchanges have soured, with China criticizing Philippine leadership for congratulating Taiwan's new leader, leading to harsh rebuttals from Filipino officials. Analysts suggest that if the expulsions proceed, China may respond with reciprocal actions, but they view Año's statement as a clear assertion of Philippine sovereignty and legal jurisdiction within its territory. Despite diplomatic immunity, embassy officials are expected to adhere to host country laws, and any violation warrants appropriate action from the host state. In response to the report, Philippine Military Chief Romeo Bronner dismissed China's claim of an audio recording as a malign influence effort from the Chinese Communist Party. Bronner highlighted concerns over the fabrication of transcripts and audio recordings, suggesting these reports were meant to divert attention from China's aggressive behavior by its Coast Guard. The Philippines and China have experienced ongoing standoffs in disputed areas of the South China Sea, with Manila asserting its activities supported by the United States and other allies in waters patrolled by China's Coast Guard. China has accused the Philippines of trespassing and treachery, while the Philippines has criticized Beijing for aggressive policies and risky maneuvers within Manila's 200-mile exclusive economic zone. China has been particularly displeased with the presence of Filipino Marines stationed aboard a warship intentionally grounded at the Second Thomas Shoal 25 years ago, claiming Manila had agreed to remove the vessel, a demand that the Philippines has rejected.